You're welcome to my channel. My name is Pastor Yemi Omogoyega. With me is my wife, Pastor Mrs. Mary Omogoyega. We are here this day to talk about the topic which says, take responsibility for your finances. Part 3. Take responsibilities for your finances. Part 3. And we want to really thank you for patronizing our channel. Please remember to share our videos to everyone, including your enemies, if you know them. Make sure that you pass them appropriately to the right quarters, the governmental quarters. Make sure you pass them to your friends, your family members, especially what we are talking about has to do with family affairs and how they affect your finances. And today we are looking at it from the perspective of the foundation of the family, that is the siblings in the family, how our finances get weakened, and how we should have a focus on making sure that we look at corporate family identity rather than individual family identity. Because what I've discovered is that everything that is happening to Nigeria happens because we are self-centered, and it starts with the family and from the point of view of the siblings, children that are born together, even from the same father and mother, or maybe by extension, children that are born together in a polygamous home, different mothers but same father. So when we look at this foundation of the society, we will see that what is happening to Nigeria today is a reflection of what is happening in our homes. And the earlier we started addressing these things, the better our societies will be. Now, at the same time, please pass your comments as you deem fit. Like I said, it is very important. Now, I'm a pastor, and the name of our church is the Christ Gospel Truth International Ministries. We always minister online, and we have physical church. And we have two major programs in our church. That is the online service as well as the offline service. But in these services, we are concerned with your upliftment, spiritual upliftment, as well as your physical upliftment. One thing that, let me say, we have one major program that we always run. That is the Bible passage we have, the Bible reading plan that we have for the whole year, every day of the year. As of today, we are on number 116 message. In this very passage, in this very message, we call it Family Devotional. So please, go to our channel, Yemi Omogoyega. Just go to your YouTube. Just type Yemi Omogoyega. You'll see all our family devotionals here. So it will profit you spiritually, because we are looking at your spiritual upliftment as well as your secular upliftment. Now, this one that we are saying is a straight talk. It's not a sermon. When I'm dealing with the spiritual thing, I use the sermon. But again, sermonizing or preaching to somebody who have no livelihood is like talking to a dead person or flogging a dead animal. The truth is that there are two sides to life. There is the spiritual side, there is the physical side. Much as you need your spiritual growth, that is, you know your God, you love your God with the whole of your heart and with the whole of your being and with the whole of your mind, Christ also taught us that you should love your neighbor as yourself. So, both for the spiritual growth as well as your physical growth, to be able to take care of your neighbor as yourself, you need money. Money is after God. Money is the next thing that is so important to you. But take note, there are two parts to money making. That is, when I say there are two parts, I mean that you can make your money in a crooked way. You can make your money in a godly way. On both sides. When you want to make your money in an ungodly way, you will discover that the love of money has already taken possession of you. The love of money is at the root of all evils, according to the book of 2 Timothy. Is it First Timothy chapter 6 verse 10. Please read it aloud. 1 Timothy chapter 6 verse 10. Yes. For the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. Is at the root of all kinds of evils. You get it? You see, like I said, you can make your money through the crooked way when you love money. But you can make your money through the godly way. And both ways you can make abundance of money. But when you love money, you will not mind taking other people's lives or defrauding others, going into Yahoo, going into kidnapping, and your desire for money is unlimited. But you wouldn't mind how you make it, whether you cause other people sorrow, or whether you cause your organization sorrow, whether you cause the nation sorrow, you wouldn't mind. And once that is at your heart, in fact, you don't want to hear anything about God. Whereas, if you want to make your money the godly way, you want to know your God and you want God to guide you. 2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 16, you know that. The Bible is there to guide us in all things, including doctrine, that is knowing God, correcting us, rebuking us, reproving us, leading us to righteousness. So when you are making your money from the perspective of God giving it to you, you are money will become a messenger to you, not you becoming a messenger to money or servant to money. Money will be your servant. Indeed, this is the best way to look at money. If you look at money as your master, all right, you being the servant, you want to make money through any crooked ways. But if you look at money as servant to you, you will discover that you will aim at your making your money abundance of money. All right? Christ says, I have come to give life more abundantly. John 10:10, part B. 10 verse 10, part B. Said, you have come to make your money, and you make that one give you life more abundantly. So you can have abundance of money in a godly way. Because Deuteronomy 28 also tells us that God says, I will make you head and not tail. And I will so bless you that you will have no need to borrow money. Instead, you will be lender to nations. All right? Now, that is on the money side. Even on the spiritual side, if you look at it, the book of Jeremiah, chapter 1, verse 5, tells us that before you were born, I've known you. I've made you a prophet. I've ordained you as a prophet over nations. You can see, money, you will lend to nations. But in your spiritual life, as a prophet, as a pastor, as a minister of God, you are a prophet unto nations. You can see that's how powerful you can be, both in the spiritual as well as the physical side, which is basically ruled by money, because you will amount to nothing unless you have money. You remember the story of the rich and the poor wise man, Ecclesiastes chapter 5, chapter 9, chapter 9, verse 15. Please, mommy, can we get that message? We used it at the beginning of the first message, part 1 of this message. Chapter 9, verse 15.
Now there was found in it a
Now
wise man.
there was found in a village or a city a poor wise man. Poor
and
wise
he by
man.
his wisdom delivered the
And
city.
by his wisdom he delivered the city.
Yet no one
remembered that poor man. May you never be poor. God has not created you poor. You came to the world poor, yes. But when you get into this world, you should do everything possible to reject poverty from your life. Financial poverty in particular. Every other thing will follow. If you remove financial poverty from your life, you will amount to nothing, no matter how wise you are. If you like, be as wise as King Solomon, as I said earlier. And then, if you like, you can be as aged as Methuselah. You will never be valued in your family, in your community, in your society, and you would never be recognized. Nothing will make you relevant. Even though you offer good advice, you offer everything, you are helping people to solve their problems. But if you will amount to nothing unless you have money. Because money is at the root of everything. But love of money is at the root of all evils, as you have read from 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 10, that we read earlier. So, you see, when we put all these things together, the role of money is very vital. Look, there are many people who are very spiritual in the church of God. They are prophets. They are pastors. In fact, many of them will become good GOs if only they have money. But without money, you amount to nothing. So any ministration that does not take cognizance of money, it's a ministration that will lead you to nowhere. In as much as you are not competing for fame, you are not competing for recognition per se, the truth remains that if you have no money, you will amount to nothing. That will not be your portion. That will not be my portion. In Yehoshua's name. Now, like I said, I'm not sermonizing. Sermonizing to an empty stomach is useless. That is why this, if you like, call this one empowerment series. I am to show you what to do to liberate yourself from the stronghold of poverty. If you don't have money, you are useless. Take note, no matter how spiritual or wise you may be. Even did the Bible not say that money is the will of the gospel? You cannot finance your church, you cannot finance your ministry if you don't have money. So money still touches it, but the only thing you should avoid is love of it. Never make your money in a crooked way. I've said that. Having said all this, let's now begin the message. I listened to Professor Charles Soludo on TVC television channel today, and he made a presentation, very brilliant presentation. Let me give you an example. If Sir Charles Soludo had no money, which is a living example of what we are saying, if Charles Soludo, Professor Charles Soludo, does not have money to be able to fend for himself, he will not be able to say, let me dash my salary, 600 and something thousand monthly salary as a governor, to the state, that I'm working, I'm not collecting a dime as salary. If he cannot feed himself, he will not be able to do that. Just take note that when you have money, you can overlook certain things. You can decide to be transparent. But if you are not, did you not hear what the Bible says? The Lord, do not let me be poor, so that I may not steal. And he says at the same time, don't let me be too rich, so that I will not deny you. One should be in between. You should be adequately rich as not to deny God. You should also not be so poor, because you will steal. Now, have you seen an holy person stealing? Is he any longer holy, or is she any longer holy? That's the importance of money. So Charles Soludo analyzed the state of the nation. He did say one thing, which I want you to understand. He says, yes, in the first place, Buhari administration removed the fuel subsidy, but it was President Bola Tinubu that announced it, orally or verbally. And today, everybody is holding President Tinubu accountable for whatever the repercussions are. Since the subsidy removal, we have seen what has happened: sporadic or exponential increase or hyperinflation. Everything now costs between 300 to 500% of what they used to cost. So we know that's money still we are talking about. And because of that, life has become so difficult for people. Now, you and I were asking, after all, they have now removed the subsidy. How come things are so hard? How come that, this government cannot do anything to make life easy for the people, for the masses? He gave the answer. He said, the subsidy removal that you think has brought so much money to the government that they will be able to now dish it out to everybody, that it is an illusion at best. That the money you think they are making, that you think will solve the problem of the nation, that the money is so useless, is so valueless, is such that even it cannot address the things that you think it will address in the lives of the people. So, what do you now say? And that's the basic truth about the whole thing. You and I that are blaming Tinubu, I think we should begin to have a rethink. We need to be educated. We need to have knowledge. We need to have understanding of how money works. He said as at his period when he was the CBN governor, he had $1 used to be 100 and something naira or something. It's not up to 1,000 something. But today, $1 goes for about 1,000, between 1,200 to 1,500 naira. So no matter what the amount of subsidy are doing, that money has depleted more than, has weakened more than everything you were buying for previously. A unit of tomato in the market, which will be about between 10 to 15 tomatoes. Today you have, which I used to sell for about 200, from 100 naira to 200 and so on and so forth. Today, 4 units of tomatoes, 4 pieces of tomatoes will cost you 1,000 naira. What you used to buy for 100 naira, how many times has the money weakened? That's about nine, nine, 9 times. Which means what 1,000 naira, sorry, what 100 naira used to buy before is what 1,000 naira is buying now. That is the problem with the society now. So no matter how much the subsidy has brought to you, thinking that it will benefit you, why are we having difficulties getting a good wage or national minimum wage now? Now the labor is at 250,000 proposal. Private sector and government, they are at 62,000 naira proposal. Let me tell you, let the government increase the national minimum wage today, even to 100,000 naira. Within 2 months, the money in your hands would have dwindled further than it is now. That is why it is dangerous to go for any flamboyant figure now. 250,000 is highly unrealistic. Now, 62,000 naira to me is realistic. You may say, oh, how will you manage 62,000 naira, whatever. You see, it is not the quantum of money that is in your hand. It is the value it carries. Your 62,000 naira would carry higher value in the market. You can buy more things with it than if it is increased to 250,000 naira. That's why we need to be very careful, those of us who are agitating. The more the quantum of the money, the less the value. I think we've experienced it enough. We should not allow that to be. Now, Charles Soludo also went further to analyze the national per capita income. He said, we have 230 million Nigerians. And if you take the entire budget of Nigeria today, and you say, okay, we don't want to do anything, we want to share the money for the people, to the people, every person will be qualified for 6,100 naira per month. Assuming that the whole money was just brought to the table and everybody is invited, or your accounts are credited, what you will earn is 6,100 naira a day. And that money, what will that fetch you in today's market? So we need to understand how these things work. So we need to make informed decision as to whatever we are doing. Then he went further to say, in Anambra State, where he is the governor, if he brought the whole budget of the state together and decided to share it to the people, each person will earn less than 2,500 naira per month. And we are not even talking of, because many of us have been asking, this nation is so rich, and why are we still saying there's no money? Let us share the money. If you share the money, within 2 weeks, the nation will burn. Because those of us who don't know the value of money, who don't know that we should make money work for us, who don't know that we should multiply money instead of spending money, within 2 weeks, everybody will come back to -0 level. That's the truth. Only few who may be entrepreneur or enterprising in nature can apply it, but they will be in insignificant number. Out of 230 million Nigerians, maybe you can find maybe 30,000 people, or let me be very, very generous. Maybe you can find 1 million people out of 230 million that can put that money to proper use, multiply it, and get their life going. It is as dangerous as that. Now, he analyzed that, and he said that any country that is at per capita income of 6,100 naira per month. I mean 6,100 naira, not per month. Is like you have that country may not survive up to 100 years before it collapses. You can imagine. Let's leave those bogus analogies that appear. So what's the man say? Look, if I'm summarizing to you, and like I said, you don't know how to turn your money around to make your life better, you will die expecting miracles, expecting manna, especially those of us who are Christians. You'll be waiting until your governmental Messiah comes. And I used to give it as an example. One of my stepmothers in those days, the elderly woman was going about 90 years old, and she was still expecting that Shagari rice will come and make life easy for her. She was on that expectation until she died. May that not be your portion. But if you don't have understanding of how money works and how serious it is for you to make money and how serious it is for you to know how to make that money legitimately, as I said, and how it affects your life, you may end up being expectant and you'll be looking for Messiah in the government, Messiah in the family, Messiah in the church, Messiah in your club houses, Messiah in your employers, which may not come until you die. So stop being expectant. Bend down to do what is needful. Make as much money, please, so legitimately, all right? Legitimately, knowing that money is a servant to you and that God can give you money without adding any sorrow to it. Make that decision that you will multiply the money that is in your hand to the point that it will profit you and profit your generation and beyond. So if you don't know that one, I have, from my very youth, I had already zeroed in on expecting any government that will come and then make life easy. Now, let me come to that. You see, what is happening to Nigeria now is a reflection of what is happening in every family. What did I say? What is happening to Nigeria? What is it that is happening to Nigeria? Hyperinflation, indebtedness, confusion, insecurity, uncertainty, even the future, even tomorrow, which is just 24 hours away. Nobody can predict what will happen. That's what is happening to Nigeria. It's what is happening in the life of individuals. And it's happening like this because at governmental level, from the very onset of this nation, we have never looked forward. Okay, we look forward to a better day, we look forward to better days ahead, but we never planned in such a way that we shall get there. Time was it in this nation that General Gowon, who was the head of state then, would say, look, our problem is not money. It is what to use the money for. That is a fundamental thing. We did not apply the money in such a way that today we would have been living in prosperity. And everybody has that problem. It is not only the government. As I told you, the government is a reflection of what is happening to individuals. Now, it begins from the family. It begins from where? From the family. I want you to come to your own family and then ruminate as to what is happening. Today, life is so hard. Today, everything is tough. Today, to pay your children's school fees is a problem. To fund your, if you are a farmer, to fund your farm is a problem. Um, to transport yourself to your place of work is a problem. If you are into business, you know that a lot is happening. Government policy can impact your business negatively. Natural occurrences can, like natural disasters for farmers, for instance. You plant plantains and then all of a sudden the breeze came and blew down everything. And you already climate change also can come and turn everything around. You know the pattern of the rain this year now is different. The rains that we used to have around August, September is what we are having now. Early morning rains. We do not have them early in the early part of the year. Not until September, October, November, especially for farmers who understand the season. But as I speak with you now, within the last 2 weeks in Ekiti State, we've had early morning rains 3 times, and heavy ones for that matter. We don't know what pattern that will be. Maybe the rains will stop early. Maybe it will even go into excess. Maybe whichever way, but the pattern has changed. So anything can change your plan at any time. Now, if you don't know, if you are looking at the weather to sow now, you may not end up. That's why the Bible says that any farmer that is studying the weather too much will end up not planting. All right? Whether we like it or not, the volume of rains that God will release for the world this year is already dropping. It depends on whether you have planted something and the rains are meeting them there. But if you are still waiting until that proper time, appropriate time, you will discover that before you knew it, by October 31st, expect less rain. It may end up raining till December. It may end up raining till November. But use October 31 as your planning date for anything. Anything you want to plant that will not mature before October 31st, don't plant them. You can take all the risks now and plant. So you may be lucky. God help you. Now, let us go to the bottom line. The family is the bedrock of the society. And the immediate family comprises of the father, the mother, and the children. And the children themselves, born to the same father and mother, or born to different mothers but from the same father, they are the bedrock of their own family. Now, an average African family grew from poverty level. Those of them who made it, they grew to a level where they become somebody of substance financially. But majority of African society people today are still in poverty. Why? Just a simple analogy. Those of the parents of those days who decided to train their children to go to school, and their children got good opportunities either to go into business or to get gainful employment, then eventually they became good, and they themselves training their children, and like that, today they are the people we are worshiping as the elites, as the rich, as whereas the parents that didn't bother then, at the end of the day, they still remain where they are. They are bankrolling, or they are still promoting the poverty that they have. I'll tell you a story later, even of my own family. The example, let me tell, okay, not even later, let me start it this way. Now, like I always say, I belong to a family that was poor. And God helped me from my very youth, early stage in life, less than 10 years of age, I have understood the meaning of poverty, that it is death. It is like being a living corpse. There is nothing good that comes to you. You amount to nothing in your family. You amount to nothing in the society. And you agonize even to eat. You eat what you find, not what you like. Then clothing, no luxury. Shelter, of course. I knew the type of house I grew from. And then medical. One thing that, if not for the grace of God, one thing would have killed me early, from my early age, if not for the grace of God. Sinusitis. Sinusitis, which is a reaction. It's a simple thing that my immune system is weak. So throughout a whole year, the number of days that I breathe with my nostrils, two nostrils here, may not be more than maybe maximum 1 month in a whole year. Throughout that 1 year, I'll be breathing with my mouth. And what were the causes? I was reacting to the environment. If it was too cold, I'm in trouble. If it was too hot, I'm in trouble. If I move in any dusty area, I'm in trouble. And I have some. I now happen to be. I now the very first employment I had in my life was in the textile industry, where you have the yarns, speckle mill textile, where you have the yarns, that is the particles of the cotton in the air. And what I normally do, God gave me that instinct to know that something, these particles can kill me. What did I do? I had to tie an apron over my nose. So you can see, my people perish from lack of knowledge. If God did not give me this understanding that poverty is the bane of every catastrophe that comes to humanity, I would have probably passed on. But eventually, I did an operation for sinus, even when I was now working and everything was, I could. I did sinusitis operation for 4 times, but yet all to no avail. As soon as they are clearing one, another one comes up. So this is it. So poverty, God has made me to understand that poverty is not good for anybody. And then I had vowed that, one, I must get must get myself out of poverty. To go to school, I told you, the best I had from my parents was primary 6. Thereafter, I took over myself with God. And today, I'm educated by the special grace of God. And now, poverty is a thing of the past. And I pray poverty of the magnitude that I met, of any magnitude, will not come to my lineage again in Yahushua's name. I don't know about you until you made that declaration and you recognize what to do. Though I didn't know what to do per se, other than say, my mother was saying, I want my child to go to school, and I keyed into it, and I believe that through education my life can improve, and I keyed to it. I sacrificed all that I needed, and God gave me victory over poverty, financial poverty. And by extension, the issue of treatment of sinus, I knew what to do. I knew how to, bathing with cold water was one major thing that would have killed me, but I didn't know. And so on and so forth. So, once having gone through that myself, I rejected it, and I rejected it for my children, for the lineage after me, the generations to come. And I believe that has come to stay. I pray for you and I. You're the next generation after you will never experience poverty. But you have to lay the foundation. Somebody has to build the car. Somebody has to pioneer it. And that person must be selfless. So be that person. Now let's take some points as we go on. Yes.
Siblings are the foundation of the family,
I've said it. Siblings are the foundation of the family.
and that foundation has to be built upon the rock.
That foundation at siblings level, whether you have brother or have sister, whatever, it doesn't matter, has to be built upon the rock. What do I mean? You are born into a poor home. Children, the same father, the same mother, or the same mother, the same father, the different mothers. You are born into poor homes. You know what it means. The future is bleak unless you do something to change it. Lest I forget, the two releases I've made before. It's an empowerment series. I told you sermonizing is a different thing. That's building your spiritual life. This one is about how you will liberate yourself from poverty. And I made you an offer in the previous one, especially the first one. Take responsibility for your finances, part 1. Then part 2, take responsibility for your finances. And I told you one of the best way you can take responsibility for your finances is to invest your money, to multiply your money, so that as you are growing, your money is growing with you. And then by the time you are old, you are making so much money and you can make good impact in the life of your family, your children, your extended family, and so on and so forth. I even went ahead as to identify in the second video that so many things can bring you down, can make you to be a failure as far as making money is concerned. Your unending family demands, extended and local, your lifestyle, you want to enjoy luxury, you want to enjoy the best of women, the best of alcohol, the best of whatever it is, or you decide not to put your money in something that will benefit you. You are uneducated, so you are limited in your thinking. You are not exposed to opportunities, and so on and so forth. Many things. And I told you, even your own children can ruin your finances, your biological children. That's the truth. And I explained it. I know some children won't like it. Some people won't like it. They will say, oh, I don't want parents to sacrifice for their children. No, it is foolishness to sacrifice your own comfort, complete comfort for your children. When I say complete, you give everything to them, and at the end of the day, you think that they will come and take care of you in your old age. You may be mistaken. It will take the grace of God. Some mothers do have merciful children. Some don't have the luck of having merciful children. So, it is better you also plan for yourself. My late sister will say, he who serves the community without serving himself is a fool. So don't be a fool. Don't serve your children at the detriment of your own future. So that's an example. So the foundation must be solid, laid right from the siblings level. And 2, you have to have a corporate vision. Siblings have to have a corporate vision that, look, it starts with us. All right? If we decide that we are going to get out of poverty, we can liberate the entire family from poverty. What do I mean by that? Let's look at it. Maybe in your family you have 5 children, and you are educating these children. God has blessed you to a point you can pay their school fees, you can feed them well, you can house them, but you know that at a stage in their lives, they will grow to a level of becoming independent. We've talked about that. If you don't take care, these children may not want to be independent of you. They will have one reason or the other to want to glue to you and be milking you. If you don't know what to do to define the period of your being together that you will fend for them, there are two periods in life: the time of dependency and the time of independence. If you don't define when your child will be weaned or your children will be weaned, the five of them may depend upon you till you die. That will not be your portion. That is why, like I always say, I called my children and said, look, at the age of 25, you must all be independent. It doesn't mean we cannot live in the same accommodation, because some of you know me will say, but you still have your son living with you. He's living with me today as an independent person. We are staying in the same accommodation because he can afford to rent his own house. But our target is for him and his wife to move to their own apartment, right from pay no rent policy. Pay no rent, use the money to go and build your own. So you can't fault me on that. Anybody who is living with me, who is my children, is above 25, take note, he's living with me as an independent person. I'm not feeding them. I'm not taking the care I used to take of them when they were young. So take note of that. Once you know that, you will not come and say, oh, he's talking with both sides of the mouth. No. He's able to take care of himself. They are able to take care of themselves. Those who are away too, fine. To God be the glory. They are able to take care of themselves. That's how it should be. Now, I said that you as children, it's this high time we parents begin to inculcate in our children, one, the fact that they will be independent one day. Two, that they are being independent should not be that they become self-centered. They must develop, that's at the siblings level, they must develop a corporate identity that, look, what will NATO, what was the an attack on one is an attack on all. Do you understand what I mean? Parents should let them know that if it is not well with the five of them, corporately, that family has not succeeded. If for the prayer I always pray for my children, I always pray it and I continue to pray it. I pray that as the Lord God Almighty lives, you will not depend upon one another before you can feed yourself, before you can house yourself, before you can do anything good in life. God will make you to be financially independent but socially connected. Every one of your children, pray for them as the Lord God Almighty lives. None of them will depend. Like say, if I have not taken money from my brother, I will not eat. I cannot pay my children's school fees. No. It's a prayer. Because if everybody is economically independent, we're able to take care of their own families. That's a prayer. And it's something we should all work for. That's why you should give them ample opportunities to be able to get to any level you can get them to, that they can fly by themselves and go get the blessings that God has ordained for them to get. But however, no matter how well, let's say 5 of them, as I'm using as an example, if 4 are financially okay and 1 is financially in penury, the family has not succeeded. The moment that the 5 of them could see that if only 1 of them fails, the success that the 4 have recorded is not a good success, so to speak, because they are supposed to be able to take care of themselves 100%. And now, as it is, what I will say, they should, their charity must begin at home. They should not look at how the best they can make individually, but from the blessings that the Lord has given, maybe to 2, 3, 4 amongst the 5, it has to be that they are also able to render support to the remaining one to the level that they can take off. He can take off on his own. It will not depend on you all forever, but it should be such that you can sit down together, raise this one up to the point that he can stand upon his feet. I know some children will not want, they want to be dependent. A time will come in their lives that nobody will tell them to be independent, to fly before they will fly. Yes, fingers are not equal. Yes, the meaning of that is that all of you cannot be economically independent the same day. But at intervals, appointed time of life, every one of you must be financially independent. No one should be a burden on the other. And honestly speaking, if they have that mind, they will have their thinking towards supporting one another until everybody is standing on their own. Attack of poverty on one is an attack on the other. There is no profit in 4 becoming so wealthy and one is in penury. Something is wrong somewhere. You all have to rise up to support that person to be on his own. 2, you know that at the parental level, family also should do. Bible says good parents will leave good inheritance for their children. 1, I told you, as parents, you owe your children duty of care. 1, food. 2, shelter. 3, clothing. 4, medical. 5, education. And of course, the remaining is moral support and all that. But I said if you must compromise anything among these 5 cardinal points, you must never compromise education. It's the starting point. I'm a living testimony of what education can do. And I'm grateful to God today, to my mother and to my mother. And all those whom God used to support me. Those who fed me, those who clothed me, those who pay my school fees, those who pay my examination fees, and so on and so forth. I'm grateful. And I thank God who gave me a heart of, because Bible says, there is no point sending a child who have no heart for learning to school, paying tuition on them. I thank God people pay tuition on me. I had a heart of learning. I thank God who gave that to me. And that's why I can boast in the Lord today that it is God and no other person. So don't compromise education. Many parents make the mistake. Honestly speaking, I would have urged every parent to endeavor to get their children to the tertiary institution, at least, at the minimum, BSc. You can get to master, you can get to whatever, but at least get your child primary education, primary 6 is no longer relevant today. School set is no longer relevant today, unless you further. Then polytechnic. I will not send the quarrel between HND and BSc holders. HND holder will say, I am equivalent to a BSc holder. BSc holder will tell you, sorry, we are not exactly the same. Polytechnics are hands-on institutions. They are like skill acquisition centers. Why not get a broad education that will help you further? I'm not saying poly is not good, but if it must be where you get to, let it be a starting point, and you continue to get yourself exposed educationally until you get to the maximum you can get to. So, that is very important. Then 2, parents should endeavor, like I said, to let these children know that if one of you fail, that's why I've advocated have the number of children you can cater for to the best of their abilities. Give them opportunity, equal opportunity to the same level. And then everybody will now fall within their own God-given ability or limit. Then number 3, you may give your children the best of education. Like I said, until that child flies and he succeeds, all the efforts might be in vain. They don't have gainful employment, they don't have business, they don't have anything. They don't even know how to turn around the education into financial success. So you may see that all these things, if they don't have them, the foundation is, siblings' foundation must be laid upon solid rock where they know what parents intend for them, God intends for them, what they want for themselves. They have to do something about that. Now, you can see families are indebted now. The nation is indebted. Put it together, the individual families' indebtedness is the accumulation of the nation's indebtedness. Everybody will now be in confusion, just as Nigeria is. It's not good for it to happen in family. If we begin to do the reawakening from the family level, where we say every one of us that came together must rise, and everybody is keen to it from the youth, then society will be better. Next, ma. Hello, ma. Next. We are wasting so much time.
They have to be shown the way of the Lord. They have to be taught to how to love the
To have a solid foundation in the family. They have the siblings have to be given solid knowledge of God, the word of God, to grow spiritually. Those of parents who are having, they themselves don't know God, so they cannot even introduce their children to God. I always say today, to God be the glory for my mother. She introduced me to God, and I am the better for it. She was better for it before she left this world. Today I'm a pastor by the special grace of God, because I was introduced to God. And then 2, you have to give your children the skills to be able to manage their lives independently. And then the siblings themselves should gather together to have a corporate identity, corporate vision that poverty attack on one is poverty attack on all. They should do everything to help one another. Everybody, they should let themselves know that everybody must fly, because no one can depend upon the other till their dying day. But everything that will be required to give skill, to give support to anyone that is weak among them should be done to raise them in the right direction. Otherwise, if the foundation is not good, what can the righteous build upon it? Everybody in the family must fly. There is no over-pampering. Do not say because it's my sibling, then I will be supplying food. No, teach him or her to fish. Teach him or her to do business or to go to school, and make sure that you contribute financially to make sure that he realizes his goal. Don't rest until he attains it. Go ahead.
They have to be taught how and when to become economically independent.
Parents, it is parents' duty and responsibility. Thank God for the inspiration that the Lord gave to me when I was writing one book called Family Budget. And it was inside that book that it was one of the things we were teaching at Family Devotional. Most of the things that amounted to wisdom for me today, they are things that I picked up from the Bible. I just had that inspiration that day to tell my children during ministration that, look, once you are 25, you must be on your own. I will no longer be feeding you, I'll never be clothing you, I'll never be even the housing. You should house yourself, and so on and so forth. I told it is for you. Don't give your children the impression that it will be rosy. You will die. And may you not die before your time. If anything at all, one thing is certain, you will die. If you make these children depend upon you and you don't show them the way and you don't direct them to the way, even sometimes force them to go to the way, they will end up cursing you later after you've left. That will not be our portion. Yes, next.
They have to be taught from their youth to be socially connected with
Then, look.
Otherwise, there will be family disintegration.
God bless you. Family integration. You see what Yorubas call ajobi? That is blood relationship. I see people contending with that today. You have siblings, same father, same mother, or same father, different mothers. And they are operating as if they are not connected at all. Everybody is struggling to be on their own. They are into rivalry, envy, and so on and so forth, which is unnecessary. They must be socially connected, just as the blood that runs through their veins is from the same source. Any family that does not train their children to relate together, you will see that the children will just fly away like that, and at the end of the day, they won't even remember you, their parents, talk less of remembering themselves. It starts from this siblings level. Why not unite your children and let them know that they should never forsake one another till their dying day? We don't tell them. They don't know. They all look at it as if it is let me just get my own and go. That is why they don't even remember the parents that God used to support them to get to where they are going. Neither would they remember themselves. What are we for? Apart from building one another, we are supposed to be relating together until we die. No matter how far, near or far you live, you should be connected. Affinity, blood affinity is in you. You are supposed to be friends for life. You are supposed to be companions for life. So, the focus should be that we parents should let them know, so that they don't become self-centered and like or just any animal, and that is it. As if they have no connection. That's why they will tell you your state of origin. They tell you your family of origin. Who is your father? Who is your mother? Who is your grandfather? Who is your grandmother? Where is the graveyard of your great-grandfather? Many things that we think are not important, they are very important. It's a God's arrangement. God has brought you together. You cannot separate yourself. Only fools will say, I will not relate with my siblings. Or only fools will be blessed and will not remember their siblings that are yet to be blessed to the level they are. Yes, ma'am.
Siblings must have a corporate vision of success for all.
Siblings must,
for some.
thank you. It is not success for some. If we are two, let the two of us be very successful. Good success. If we are five, let the five of us be very successful. Not three succeeds and two fails. Not that, like I said, there are some children of perdition. You will not be amongst them. Children of perdition. No matter how much you want to build them, if you have a sibling that is lazy, please rebuke him or her. If possible, coerce him or her to get running, to fly. Tell him or her that even though you are supporting her financially to feed today, that there is a terminal date that he should fly or she should fly. Because some of them are very lazy, they don't want to. They want to perch on the few brothers or sisters they have, or uncles and so on. And that is why, you know there are a lot. You feed them till tomorrow, they are never satisfied. And not only that, the day you reduce your feeding for them, the day they will tell the whole world how wicked you are. They won't tell you feed them for 90 years. Just stay away for 1 month. The whole world will hear how wicked you are. And how many people will you tell that you have fed them for 90 years? Please. It is better you tell yourself when you are young that look, I'm doing it. You have to fly. If you don't fly, you will suffer. Yes. So they should develop corporate family success, good success for that matter, just as the values of the family should be kept. Yes. Please go ahead.
Not until everybody is financially independent, no one among them, no matter how seemingly successful financially.
I think we will address that. Go ahead.
But my discovery is this: many siblings are selfish. We should not be so.
Now, what
is leading to envy.
God bless you. God bless you. You see,
Unhealthy
one
competition.
thing I discover is this. You see, for the corporate siblings, family to get out of poverty and progressively advance, there are so many things that will happen. One, the siblings themselves must be selfless. The siblings themselves must be ready to fly. The siblings themselves must be ready to support one another. The siblings themselves must. But there are some siblings, they don't want to move, like I said. And there will be a clog in the wheel of progress. Those ones have to be harshly addressed. Start with lovingly addressing them. But when it gets to the point of being harsh towards them, please be very harsh, so that if gentility or love will not quickly address it, make them to wake up from their slumber, your harshness will make them to think deeply and say, if only to reject being disgraced. They'll wake up. May God not give you the one that will not wake up as siblings. So, we need to make sure that we let the children know that they just have to fly. It is still the responsibility of parents. We don't do it. That is why you'll see two brothers and sisters or whatever will not relate to one another. Instead, you will see envy, especially if one is okay. They begin to say it's because he's rich, it's because it's not this, it's because it's that. If you have corporately supported yourself, nobody will tell that story. It's an evil story. There will be less envy if God has blessed every one of you, and then you are just socially connected. Oh, we want to do something in the family. We are not heaping it upon one person who appears to be rich, or two persons who appear to be rich, and they themselves may be selfish, self-centered. That's another thing. So we need to let our children know. Yes. Yes, ma'am.
But my discovery is this. Many siblings are selfish. We should not be so. This is what is leading to envy.
You've already read that. Go to the next point.
Unhealthy competition.
Yes.
Acquisition of parents, loving one child more than the other.
Now, these lazy bones, these ones that they do not want to fly, they will accuse their parents of even loving the other children who made it more than themselves. Whereas, if parents have given them equitable balance in terms of education, they have the opportunity to get to the level that God has ordained them to, and everything, clothing, feeding, parents are able to do that to the point that they can all fly. Why the naughty story? We should not give room for children to be complaining of one person. If you see a child complaining that, hey, you love me more than have I not given you people the same opportunity? Did I treat one person different from another? Parents should be able to answer that question. Just one moment. Yeah, sorry about that. So what I'm saying is that as parents, you should be able to ask such children, What opportunities have I given to those people that have not given to you? It is for you to fly. That's why parents should be frank when necessary. You should be frank. And you should be guiding them. 2, you see that parents, Bible says you should leave good legacies for your children, even up to the 3rd generation. It was Pastor Ashimolawo the other time who said, I am now funding my children education up to the 3rd generation in the best schools in this world. Wonderful. That's the mind of God. Those of you who have not done for children and you want them to come and be feeding you, will Ashimolawo be saying that if one child has not given him money now that he will not eat? No. Let's all endeavor to get to that level where we can still support even the 3rd generation in our little way. You can do it at your own little way. It's a matter of addressing your mind to it. You can do it. It's not a question of children coming to feed you. No. You too can still contribute to the life, your children's development, education, everything. If you don't have money, can you do it? Now, as a family, to leave good legacies. If you are entrepreneurs, you are an entrepreneur as a family, you're a father and mother. Teach your children, because they are supposed to take over what you are doing. And the siblings themselves must be ready, must be teachable, ready to be. You see, one of the things I discovered is that because of self-centeredness, you see, in a family business, go to India, go to China, we have more of cottage businesses than big industries. Family business that succeeds from. Parents can establish businesses. Children should key into such businesses. They should be represented in such businesses. Not all of you will be there, but somebody who will be the eye of the family on behalf of others should be there to understudy so that he or she can continue on behalf of the entire family. That does not prevent him or her from running his or her own other private enterprises that will be his own initiative. But what we are discovering today is that you will hear, I know of somebody that his relative is trying to set up a business for and said, look, this business, we'll still run it for some time, but I'll see. The first thing that the person said was that, no, I cannot serve anybody. I cannot serve under anybody. It is a business that's meant for how? And he said, sorry, me, I cannot be a slave to anybody. And the relative setting him or her, setting her up says, look, I want to see how this thing will be run, but you still be running it in my name. I want to see how in the in and out of how you are managing the business. After some time, it will become yours. He said, no, me, I cannot serve anybody. Me, I cannot be the slave to another person. Can you imagine? Even haven't been told that it is yours somehow. Aren't you supposed to jump at it? Is it that kind of person that will say, should come and understudy you so that others among their siblings will benefit? He will see it as if it's being used as, what do you call it? That is a slave to them. Forgetting that what the Bible says, he amongst you that will be the leader or the best in heaven will be servant to others. Does being servant to your family business, does it mean that you cannot establish your own? Do your own now in addition to, but don't let that family vision collapse. And greed. Another one is another person from the same family that you're trying to introduce to that business so that it will go miss. Even want to take it over completely. Not minding what happens to others. Any business that the family sets up should be for corporate benefit of the siblings altogether. But you are having that person or persons there for purposes of, understudying. Like I said, it doesn't prevent that person from doing his own or her own business, especially, and then let the parents reward them for their services, not that you want them to understudy and you are not paying them anything. No, reward them for their services, adequately compensate them, but let the overall benefit be that after the business may have, maybe like you're running a business, and then at the end of the year you do the account and you make profit. You know that the family representative that is there has already earned their salaries and so on and so forth. Then there should still be a special portion that will do to appreciate them for even doing that one on behalf of the rest. Then too, whatever is left, everybody should benefit. But a situation where such a person who is supposed to represent, is crumbling or is trying to take it over by force, say that, well, me, I cannot serve others, or cunningly taking over and not wanting to hear that others will benefit from it. That's greed. It shouldn't be so in a family. When is the family going to make progress? Corporate family business can go on. Any type of business that the parents set up can go on, and it's a blessing to every one of them. It could get to a point that you can contract it out, but somebody within the family will still monitor the affairs of the business, so that it will be an additional blessing to what, and could be something that can even employ the third generation, up to the third generation. Even in that family, there will be no idle hand. Maybe somebody just graduated and has no job, will come there and work until he's able to establish himself or herself. These are some of the ways in which families, good inheritance that good parents can leave for their children. But in a situation where even the children are looking at it from the side, oh, I don't want to be a servant to another person, that family will not rise. That family will not rise, to be candid. That family will not rise. Let us understand. There is corporate gift from the family, from the parents. The siblings should take it corporately, manage it, understudy it, manage it, let it continue to run. Okay, let's look at another good legacy that parents can leave for children. Maybe you leave real estate, properties, houses, and everything. Do you know that from generation to generation, that can become a source of wealth? Some wise parents that built many houses. Even I know of a father that said, never sell my property. Let it not ever cross your mind to that you will sit down one day and say, you are selling my property. This property that I'm leaving for you is to bless generations upon generation till eternity. And today, annually, they declare from the rents they collected, they will reserve part of it for further development of the property. Not only that, if they are wise too, from that which they are reserving, they can still buy another land and be expanding that business, especially these houses that are built in urban areas. It's a pity that local villages, the houses attract rent, but many a time the rent is not enough to even renovate the house. But even so, you can still renovate the house and get it going until one day development will catch up with it and it will become profitable. So from that few houses that your parents left behind, you can build more, develop further estates that will continue to profit the generation. The family that I said, at least the children are sharing benefits, and their children too are enjoying from that. And sometimes Anyone that is having some issue in the family, from that place corporately, the siblings will sit down, support that person to fly again. That's what family should be. That's what a family should be. Siblings should operate in one accord. They should have one mind. They should think beyond themselves. Corporately, we grow better. And we are talking of eradicating poverty from the entire family lineage. We are talking of you being rich alone. What of the other one that is not yet flying? Yes, ma.
Personal experience.
Mm-hmm.
Parents must endeavor to give good inheritance for their children.
Please,
Because
parents,
they understand beyond.
God bless you, ma. Please, parents, the bottom line of that message is that you should not leave this world and leave empty. Maybe the best thing you think you give to your children is education so that they can fly away. No. If God has gifted you the opportunity, why not have something you can leave behind for them to corporately and jointly manage? One, it will unite them together till their dying days, and the children's children will take over from there. Why not? Why do you limit yourself? I'll give you education, that's the end. No. If you can establish business, you can build houses, you can do anything that can still be profiting them long after you've left. Why not? Just like that good father did. You must be good parents. Good parents leave good inheritance for their children. Yes.
So parents, whom God has helped to overcome poverty,
Eh,
must pave way for financial progress for
Look,
their
to
own children.
God be the glory if God has paved way for you to overcome poverty. Have you not heard what I said? I'm praying to God and I'm working 24/7 to see that poverty never rear its ugly head in my family again. And so shall it be. As a man thinketh, so is. I don't want poverty in my family anymore. It's a bad thing. It's the deadliest enemy. Financial poverty. They are not relevant in anywhere. No, not amongst my family anymore.
Parents who are still in poverty should do everything to
Those of you who are
liberate
still
themselves.
those of you who are still in poverty, try and liberate yourself from it. Stop rearing children indiscriminately. Stop spending your money on beer and liquor. Stop carrying women about as men. Stop buying asoebi as women. Stop social occasions and all that. No, liberate yourself. Give your children good education, then give them businesses that they can be managing long after you must have left. Leave something. Break that jinx from your family. Break it. Break it. Break it. Yes. Ma.
So they can leave good legacy for their own children.
Yes.
Siblings themselves must be ready to build upon
Siblings, don't be self-centered. One, be ready to fly, to be economically independent. When I say be ready to fly, that is to be able to fend for yourselves. Two, when God give you good parents that are leaving legacies for you, manage them. Those of you who still have no job can key into that and start your life from there. You get your earnings from there, and then from there, as you are getting better opportunities, you go for better opportunities, somebody else will replace you in that family business. But don't let it die. Don't allow it to die. You never can tell. Those residual incomes that will be coming from them later, from the profits made, can always boost your own private lives and the lives of your children. Don't let it die. Don't be self-centered. Do not say, I cannot serve others. It's not me. It's not this. It's that. It's myopic. It's a poverty mentality way of life. Self-centered way of life. The family will not make progress. Not until everybody is well. It is not well with everybody. Let it be well with your family. Parents have a lot of role to inculcate this culture into their children. And children themselves need, siblings particularly, need to see themselves as we want to develop a good legacy. I'm teaching this one, I'm teaching my children. May God allow them to take it. When they take it in, they will know that we, as their parents, we are leaving good legacies for them, and they will fly with it. And poverty will be a thing of the past. Envy, fighting, quarreling, all this, they hate me, I hate you, will disappear. Christ has come to destroy all the works of the enemy, devices of the devil. Why not follow this and then let your lives be better? Yes. Yes, ma. Sorry, I know it's time for you to sleep. She's wonderful. I know she's tired. Siblings should work together. Siblings should work together to advance the cause of their financial prosperity, not to destroy whatever legacies that your parents have given to you collectively. I always say one thing. I pray that even by the time we are old and are gone, that our children will have no need for maybe all the household items that we have. No, because they would have had their own. All right? They can even go to charity. I pray that will be, God will answer this prayer. But I always let my children know that, look, if we are gone today, by the time we are old and we are gone, that, you see, whatever me and your mother are using belong to all of you. Don't sit down and say, because I'm living closer, therefore I will quickly convert part of it to be my own, then whatever the people met. No, that's greed, that's stealing, that's a bad thing. That's ojukokoro. Leave everything. Call yourself together. Gather them together. And do what you should do with one mind, collectively. Not that some person is smarting it out. Somebody has taken the car. Somebody has taken the fridge. Somebody has, it doesn't prosper you. But if you are together and all of you collectively say, one person should take everything. Yes, that's your own decision. But anyone who is hiding anything is putting himself as in a position of a pauper. Don't want to use foul language. That thing does not solve your problem. My prayer is that by the time we are gone, all of you we have no need for all these things. You might even gather together and say, give it to charity. We even have no need to sell and say, well, because we want to raise money. No. Give it to charity. Or if you still want to have one or two things you can use, but let it be collectively decided, not that somebody goes there to steal. Did you not hear anybody who goes to the parents' property and steals take something and say it doesn't matter, it's my parents? Bible said, woe betide such a person, a child. He said, well, after all, it's my father's property. If only we understand the word of God, God does not like idle chat. There is no idle chat before God. So it's like that's the kind of thing. That's how siblings should operate. Selfless, loving, caring for one another, advancing the good values that their parents have left instead of destroying it. Yes, ma'am.
Siblings themselves must never forget to build their own.
Let me tell you, I say there are two things. Your parents, God has given them opportunity to take you to where they want to take you to. Build your own financial empire from there. Fly. That's what I always say by saying fly. to the point that you can build your own financial empire, that to the point that all these things. I always, I marvel sometimes when very rich family, very wealthy families, their children will be fighting over properties. Who owns what? Have you not built your own? Let that be a joint common thing that every one of you will have. If there's anyone that is you that is not up equally, we cannot be at the same level at the same time, that has not yet attained a comfortable standard, use part of it to build just such a person, support one another. Yes, ma'am.
In other words, there will be central and individual branches.
So, you see, good legacies, there will be central. You see, what my wife and I will be leaving for our children, this is the central legacy. Then there will be individual from the siblings, our own children. Each of them will also build their own legacies, good inheritance for their own children. In addition to that, our own will join. That's how each family will get out of poverty.
Otherwise, such family will be rising and falling in
that family, you see, you will,
to generation.
from such a family that is not doing all this thing, you will discover that you will see people still going back to abject poverty. That will not be my portion. It will not be the portion of my children from generation to generation. Just like I don't expect in my family lineage now that somebody will not have good education. We'll still be contending with primary schools or polytechnic, whichever, which the bridge which we have since crossed, which I have already broken by the special grace of God who helped me. God forbid. God forbid now that I leave this world leaving nothing for my children, and or be saying that it's only education I gave to them. Whatever, even if it is something little, I have to live. We have to live. And they too have to live for their own children and children's children. If we don't have such corporate vision, we will just be living within our own generation. When the Bible says you should bless up to the third generation, good inheritance. Yes, ma'am.
Therefore, siblings must be ready to advance their corporate, individual, financial prosperity.
As siblings, each of you must advance your own corporate, individual. That is when I say corporate, you are 5. You have your wife, you have your children, each of you. You too, you have become a family that must leave good legacies. So you must advance your prosperity. You must endeavor to prosper so that you leave good legacies for your children. That is at your own level. But the corporate one that your parents are living for is additional. You must not jettison that too. Don't allow it to collapse. Fail from generation to generation. I pray that those of you who are listening to me, even including myself, from this our generation, we will never fail again financially. We will never fall again financially. In every situation, God will prosper us in Yehoshua's name. Yes.
This leads, therefore, siblings must be ready to advance their corporate and individual financial prosperity. This leads me to how they can do this. 1. Multiply what their parents left.
How to
2.
prosper.
Finances through investment.
God bless you. How to advance the cause of your prosperity. 1. Parents have left good legacies for you. Fly with them. Run with them. 2. Develop your own corporate financial empire by multiplying whatever you have in terms of finance. Invest in real estate, invest in skill acquisition, invest in education, invest in anything according to your own revelation, so that that thing will be generating residual money, both passive and original. Maybe it's business that you are built to be a big good business person and making plenty of money. And then invest your money in real estate. Invest your money in whatever bonds, everything that can help you to be generating more. What is bottom line of advancing your prosperity is to invest. Invest in your children's education. Invest in your own education. Invest in real estate. Invest in IT world has given you opportunities. Do online businesses that are okay, and then generate the dollars from your locality, and then make your money. Invest. Yes. That reminds me now, before I round up, I told you, maybe you didn't watch my previous video, I told you there is it ministering to you without telling you what to do to prosper? Is it practically? There is an estate that is selling property, landed property in Ibadan, that I am also their agent. Subscribe to this one. 510,000 naira is the promo price now. As at December last year to January this year, it was still 300,000. Now it's 500,000. The real price of the land today is 1 million naira. If you haven't joined, please join. This is one of the things you can live for your children. You can sell later to make your life better. You can build and be collecting rent and hand over to your children later. These are the legacies, good legacies that parents can leave for their children. If you haven't joined, join now. 080-344-65225 is my number. 080-344-65225. Again, this number 080-352 00 what is it 122 080-352-00-122 is another number. Chat me up, call me, WhatsApp me on both numbers. But I will prefer that even if it is flashing, please flash me to know that let me see. If I see your missed call, I will call you back. It's not because of the gain that I stand to gain from it as an agent. No, I'm concerned for your future. I'm concerned for the children, for the future of your children. Why not partake? This is another opportunity where you can multiply your money. Your land will grow, will appreciate. It's in a prime area. They call it London Estate in Ibadan. People are subscribing, and I know very soon that estate will be fully subscribed. And they have others all over the nation. If you want to know more, let us know. God bless you. Now, more points.
Invest in skill acquisition and any other business that will pay you for financial freedom. Then the family will continue to grow and poverty will be a thing of the past.
Yes. Oh, God bless you. So above all, thank God I'm even placing that advert towards the tail end of it. The bottom line is this. Anybody who is not financially sound, he may be wise, he may be old, like Methuselah, he may be anything, but he will not be relevant in the scheme of things, in the family, even in the church of God, even in the society, in the community, and anywhere. You will be looked down upon. Let that not be your portion, I beg you. And the best way is one of them. I've given you an opportunity now to buy a land. You can pay over 6 months. You can pay over 1 year. It depends on you. What is important, pay, collect your documentation, and it becomes yours. And land never depreciates. It appreciates. And if you subscribe, I pray that you will not sustain any loss in Yahushua's name. So, brethren, from now onwards, what I'll be doing is today, empowerment, tomorrow, sermon. When you marry the two together, you are growing spiritually, you are growing financially. And that is the best way to balance your life. Leave one, you will suffer the consequence. Leave the two, double consequence. But take the two, your life will be balanced. That's what I'm enjoying. And I pray that your testimony shall be good in Yahushua's name. Please always remember that life does not smile at anybody. Let me also tell you, Nigeria's situation today is what you and I have caused because we failed to do all these things that I'm teaching you. If you are financially okay and financially okay, there will be less. I know that some wealthy people are fraudulent too, but you will not be amongst them. Because if Charles Soludo could forgo his salary and is still doing well, it is because he's financially okay. If Nigeria has planned very well and put the money where it should go, today we will not be what we are. But there is still hope for Nigeria. There is hope for you as an individual. Banish poverty from your family. I banish poverty from my family. Let everybody banish poverty from their family. Nigeria will have less problems and it will be easier to manage. God bless you. To add or subscribe. So God bless you and have a very wonderful time. Please remember to share these messages extensively. Share it widely. Have a very wonderful day.